My name is Lauren Eagan, and I'm the owner of Eagan Immigration. Today we're going to talk about what you can expect at your first hearing with the immigration court. I'll start from the moment you get to the building until the moment you leave to kind of give you an overview of what you can expect. So first, when you arrive at the building, you're going to have to pass through security. I usually recommend to my clients that they leave their cell phones and any other electronics at home because many of the courthouses won't allow those devices in. Once you get in, past security, you'll need to find the courtroom. Sometimes courts are in high-rise buildings, and so you have to take the elevator to another floor. Sometimes it's just the court in that one building, so you just walk down the hall to your courtroom. Once you get to the area where the court is designated, you'll need to make sure you're going to the right room based on the judge with whom you have your hearing. There is usually a list on the wall of the courthouse that has everybody's name and a number on it that has a hearing that day, and it will say what time your hearing is and what courtroom you're in. So find the courtroom you're in and go to that courtroom. If you can't find your name on the list for some reason, there will usually be a window with a person sitting behind it, and you can go ask that person which courtroom you're in by giving them your name and your A number or showing them your hearing notice. Once you get to your specific courtroom, you'll want to sign in. So you'll sign in your name and you'll also sign your A number. Your A number is the 9-digit number that begins with an A that is listed on the top of your hearing notice. It should be listed right next to your name on the hearing notice. Once you're in the courtroom and you're all signed in, you can go ahead and take a seat. The courtroom is set up similar to a courtroom on TV, but usually not quite as big. So you'll have rows of benches in the back right when you walk in the door. There will be a hall down the middle, and then a little kind of fence with a gate. And on the other side of that is where the judge sits and the lawyers will sit and the individual immigrants will sit when it's their turn. So there will be a table for the government attorney that's representing the United States, and then there will be a table and some chairs for your attorney if you have one, or just for you, but there's usually 2 or 3 chairs there. And then depending on the particular courthouse, sometimes the interpreter also sits in that space, or the interpreter is in a separate chair next to the judge, and people who need interpretation will just listen to the interpretation through a headset. And then between the tables, straight ahead of them, is where the judge's bench is. So the judge sits in the middle, and then on one side is a space for the clerk, the person who types things up and helps the judge with anything they need. And then on the other side is a space, just usually an empty chair, where people will testify if that needs to happen. In your first hearing, it is not likely that you will see any testimony because that is usually just a check-in hearing, so that you can kind of move the case forward with the judge. So when you first get there, you'll sit down in the benches after you sign in, and there will be a lot of other people there. Master calendar hearings, which are the first ones, are check-in hearings, and so judges will put a bunch of people on the docket all at the same time, and then they'll just go through them really quickly back to back to make sure the person is there, find out what kind of defenses they're going to assert in their case, or if they need more time to find a lawyer. So it's not just going to be you there. So once you sit down, wait for the judge to come out. When the judge comes out, you'll stand up, and then when the clerk says you can be seated, you'll sit back down. Then just wait for the judge to call either your name or the last 3 digits of your A number. When it's your turn, you'll go up and you'll sit at the table on the right-hand side, which is where the immigrant or his or her attorney will sit, and go ahead and talk to the judge there. Usually there's a microphone. You don't need to get really, really close to it, but just make sure it's near your mouth if it's there so that it can pick up on the recording devices that the court has, and answer the judge's questions. Often for people who don't have lawyers yet, the judge will ask if you need more time to find a lawyer. If you think you will be looking for a lawyer, absolutely say yes, take advantage of this time, and then go out and look for your lawyer. If you don't think you're going to have a lawyer and you want to move forward, you can tell the judge that at that time. However, for deportation proceedings, I always recommend that clients have a lawyer because the success rate is so much higher. I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head, but it's like 50, 60, 70, something like that % higher in terms of winning if you have the help of a lawyer. So if you think you need more time to find a lawyer and it might be a possibility, definitely tell the judge and ask for that extra time. Once you've talked to the judge a little bit about your case, the judge will usually continue it to another date if you decide you need more time for whatever reason, and then they will have their clerk print out a hearing notice for your next hearing, which will list the date of the next hearing, give it to you, and then you can leave. So you'll walk right back out of the courthouse. Once you have your hearing notice, you don't have to stay there for anything else, and you're done for the day. Make sure to put on your calendar or set a reminder for your next hearing date because you don't want to miss it. And if you think you're going to hire an attorney, now is the time to go look for one because the attorney is going to want time to prepare before your next hearing. All right, I hope this gave you a little bit of an overview. Please do not hesitate to contact my office if you need specific information or want to set up a consultation. And go ahead and subscribe to this page as well so that you can keep up to date on our newest videos and more information so that you have a good knowledge base for your immigration proceedings. Thank you and see you next time.